This is Dr. Mark Hitchcock welcoming you to another episode of Marking the Times from here in Edmond, Oklahoma from Faith Bible Church. Thank you for joining us so you can tell your friends about this if it's helpful to you. We just try to have this video blog every week, just a few minutes, not to take a lot of your time, maybe 4 to 6 minutes where you can kind of catch up on some things that are happening in the world relevant to end time prophecy, but also to answer your questions. So if you'll send in any questions you have to our Facebook page, they can be about prophecy or other topics, and we'll try to get to those as soon as we can. What I want to do today, though, is talk to you a little bit about Iran. Iran is back in the news, really with a vengeance. A lot of things happening between the U.S. and Iran in recent days, and I think it's very important for biblical prophecy. In Ezekiel 38, verse 5, Iran is mentioned as one of the allies of Russia and Turkey and some other Islamic nations that in the end times will come against Israel and a great coalition of nations that will invade Israel. And so the rise of Iran today and their hatred for Israel and obviously their hatred for the U.S. Is I think, significant. You know, Israel's called the little Satan. We're the big Satan. They hate us because we're supporters of Israel, who they would like to destroy and wipe off the face of the earth. But a lot of this started when President Trump, obviously, he got us out of the nuclear deal. He withdrew America from the Iran nuclear deal. And then more recently, he's declared Iran's military to be a terrorist organization. And Iran obviously has been angered by these things. And here recently, they have ended compliance with that nuclear deal, or at least parts of it. And the U.S. is threatening new sanctions against Iran. And really the sanctions that we've placed on them now really are crippling sanctions. There's fear that they're restarting their nuclear program. But most recently, they've discovered a threat of Iranian attack against American interests, possibly in Syria or in Iraq. Iran has a lot of different proxies around the world, and we hold what those proxies do. We hold Iran responsible for those things. So it's very important with what's happening in our world today that there's a lot of tripwires, there's a lot of trigger points or flash points there in the Middle East. And so with this credible threat that's been received that Iran could strike some American interests, America is sending a lot of firepower right now over to the Middle East. There's a full carrier wing is being sent over there on an aircraft carrier. More bombers are being sent, 1 cruiser, 4 destroyers. And again, this an entire group of heavy bombers that are being sent there. The U.S. has warned Iran that any attack against U.S. interests will be met with unrelenting force. And so all of this is kind of brewing over there in the Middle East at this time. And one of the things that Iran constantly threatens to do is block off the Strait of Hormuz, which is a narrow strait there that comes out of the Persian Gulf, where a lot of the world's oil flows every day. So there's all kinds of things happening over there with Iran today that are important. And they're kind of the main flashpoint, really, if you will, on the foreign scene for America today. And I don't think that's an accident. Again, I think it's related to Bible prophecy. With Iran, many people believe that it's not going to take much one of these days for relations between America and Iran to escalate into a full war. A lot of different things could happen in different parts of the world that could cause that to take place. But Iran right now, possibly restarting their nuclear program, making threats against American interests. It's ratcheting everything up. And again, all of this time, Iran sits there with troops in Syria, poised right on the northern border of Israel. Last week, in the last week or so, 690 rockets were fired into the southern part of Israel by Gaza, by the Palestinians down from the area of Gaza. Israel assassinated a Hamas leader. So all of this is happening. So down on Israel's southern front there in Gaza, we have a lot of turmoil. We have Iran and Iran's proxy Hezbollah in Lebanon up on Israel's northern border. We have all of these threats from Iran. We have Iran possibly restarting its nuclear program. So all of these things are happening at the same time. And again, no one of these things are the fulfillment of any prophecy, but all of this together just shows how the cauldron over there just keeps boiling in the Middle East. And at some point, possibly not too long in the future, something's going to happen over there that's going to light the fuse, that's going to explode the powder keg. And again, that event may not even be Ezekiel 38 and 39. but it will be a precursor to that. So we want to just keep you updated on some of these things that are happening. Continue to send in your questions. We love answering those. We'll hopefully see you next time. God bless you. Have a good week.